I'm Kyle Lang, and this is Crash Course U.S. History. Today's topic is the Beat Generation, the post-war period in the mid to late 20th century where America had an identity crisis, a time when many traditional Americans became dissatisfied with the up-and-coming beat culture, filled with the rejection of old American values. To understand the Beat Generation, we need to examine the historical climate of the time. Similar to the 20s, the 1950s saw massive expansion of consumerism and media. Due to the GI Bill, greater educational opportunities were available, resulting in specialization and higher salaries. New technologies such as the blender and the television allowed ideas to spread faster than ever before. Check out this clip.
Here's the newest, most exciting sound in town. It's a General Electric blender that's going around. Completely new from base to lid. Take it apart, see what they did. The non-skid base is the lowest you'll ever see.
The decanter has a 36-ounce blending capacity.
And due to the Eisenhower highway system, travel was extremely accessible. The 1950s also saw the rise of the suburbs, specifically with Levittown. The very fabric of American life was changing. During the 1950s, the need to always have more and better goods began to grow with new inventions and more westward expansion. Suburbs began to grow and grow and grow and grow, and houses became bigger and bigger and bigger, where residents bought new time-saving appliances. This was very much influenced by advertisements that began to rise in television, radio, cars, billboards, and banks. Authors from USHistory.org said, of course, not everything was as rosy as it seemed. Beneath the pristine exterior, a small group of critics and nonconformists pointed out the flaws in a suburbia they believed had no soul, a government they believed was growing dangerously powerful, and a lifestyle they believed was fundamentally repressed, and much of America was still segregated. Banks were able to allow consumers to buy on credit. Americans were able to achieve the perceived better life that was a common goal amongst many Americans. Leisure time was common in American culture in the 1950s, and this time allowed for items that are not necessary to be bought by Americans and to be used in that said free time. With this leisure time came an awareness of the social injustices of the decade, such as racism. Through exploring these injustices in music, literature, and art, this growing restlessness gained the title The Beat Generation. Let's go to the thought bubble.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was a top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was coming to the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam and really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band, and now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
The Beat Generation. The beat go hard. The beat of the salads of this world. Levittowns, let it down from the social injustices of the world. These political machines are burning down the world. And Beat Generation, beat. Turn the beat around. Turn around these injustices from the world. Northwest. Northwest Quest. Northwest Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, the Beatniks.
In fact, Beat Generation writer John Cleland Holmes stated that the so-called Beat Generation was a whole bunch of people of all different nationalities who came to the conclusion that society sucked. How is the Beat Generation different than the Lost Generation?
Oh, me from the past. The Beat Generation and the Lost Generation were similar in their medium in expressing their want for political and social change. Plus, they were both pretty badass. The Beat Generation was an American and literary movement originating in the 1950s and centering in the Pacific Northwest, focusing in San Francisco. They were diversely called the Beatniks, in expression to their alienation from conventional and square society. Their ideals and beliefs were strongly influenced by drugs, sex, and Zen Buddhism. These Beats found no joy and purpose in their society. The core group of Beat Generation authors were Herbert Huncke, Allen Ginsberg, William S. Burroughs, Linson Carr, and Jack Kerouac. They met in 1944 in the Columbia University. Now it's time for the mystery document. Take it away, Diane.
I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving hysterical naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn looking for an angry fix. Angel-headed hipsters burning through the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Wrong.
Howl by Ginsberg. Oh no, not the cream.
I'm so scared. Close your eyes so it doesn't get in your eyes. So
The Beat Generation later expanded to what is commonly known as the hippie movement. Many Beat members did switch over to become hippies, but traded into their somber, dark clothing for psychedelic colors and long hair, credited with the era. Hippies led further away from the political aspects of culture and focused more on the civil rights and the anti-war movements. The Beat Generation has also been credited with creating slam poetry and had a lasting influence on members such as the Beatles, Bob Dylan, and Jim Morrison. Beat Generation was an era that shaped much of American culture today, and not just hipster girls singing Skinny Love at some obscure coffee shop. From the literature, the music, the exploration of the political values and social injustices within the country, the Beat Generation proved to a long-lasting influence in America over the years. Drop the beat.